We're here with Bruce Cohn at the B.R. Cohn Winery offices. Good to see you again, Bruce.
You too, Paul.
I am just always thrilled to be able to sit down and hear some of the stories about what went on in the old days. And before we turned the videotape on, the name Bill Graham popped to mind because I was doing a What Would Bill Do? A WWBD. You know, if he had some business to do with you, you know, you'd see that Jaguar roll up your driveway, and there'd be a Bill Graham yelling, but he actually did something.
He never drove up here, but he would call me constantly when he wanted something. One time, I remember he wanted us to play. I think it was a Day on the Green or a Coliseum show. And the Doobies. It was during the late '70s Grammy times, and we were in the studio and not geared up, you know, to play shows. And he called. He said, "I need you to play this show." And I said, "Bill, the band's not. They're recording. You know, they're not playing shows right now." He says, "I don't. What do you need?" He says, $100,000. I'll pay you $100,000. I said, "Bill, I don't. They're not going to do it." He said, "Go to the band." I said, "Okay." So I go to the band. No, they don't want to do it. "Sorry, Bill. You know, they're recording." He says, "Bruce, my people need to work." He says, "You got to do this show."
It's all on you, Bruce.
And, yeah, he's calling me every day, you know. And I said, "Bill, I can't get him." He says, I'll pay you $150,000. "Okay, I'll ask the band." "No, they don't want to do it." He says, "Bruce, I went to my doctor." He says, "I'm running out of air." He says, "You're cutting off my air." He says, "You got to do this show." I mean, the guy, he was. Finally, I got the band to do it. You know, he kept on it.
Yeah, he got what he wanted. Go of it.
He got what he wanted.
He usually did. He loved to say, "I need."
Oh, it's for my people. No, my people.
Yeah.
No, he's like he's parting the sea.
Right.
And his people are crossing. You know, it was all about his people. You know, FM Productions. It was great.
It was a great era. We'll never see anything like it again.
He was the best.
And too bad too. I often wonder. You know, his birthday was this week.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. I think it was 82. He would have been. My dad would have turned 100.
My dad.
On Wednesday.
My birthday's the week before.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
so
a birthday.
We're pretty.
Well, this is the people I congregate with, I guess.
Yeah.
The Capricorn's born in early January or somewhere close to there. And it's funny because we have this other thing in common, is the shoe store. And it's, yeah, because my family business was the shoe store.
We were the Florsheim in Chicago.
Yeah.
4 Cohn shoes.
Tread Easy Shoe Corp.
Anything hard to fit. That was my cousin. Still has the store, you know.
Wow.
100 years.
Wow.
They've been in business, and he specializes triple E.
Exactly.
You know, you got bunions. Don't worry, we get the shoes for you, and that's how he stayed in business all these years with generation after generation.
My dad had a heavy clientele. He had mostly women's shoes. It was nurses, nuns, teachers, and he had shoes that he would customize and shrink the heels.
People were on their feet a lot.
Yeah, he did that. It was like extra depth shoes.
Right.
When I still have, I have flat feet, so
I have a shoe fetish. I got lots of shoes.
So,
okay.
Real quick, before we move on to anything else, I did have a question because I hadn't heard, and I talked to Mike Waterman at the River, that there hadn't been a press conference yet about this year's, you know, the 2012 Fall Music Festival.
Well, we're doing it. I had to go through the county again,
and
I just finished that in late December. We had to go before the supervisor, the board, and get approved for the next 5 years because they got me on a 5-year leash. So we got it, you know. So
Great.
Now we're okay. As long as we do the sound mitigation, they're worried about the sound for the, you know, neighbors that are about 20 miles away.
Yeah. Do you know how much the check is going to be?
Oh, the check?
Yeah.
You mean for last year?
Yeah.
That money's already been distributed. It was, you know, I don't know. It wasn't as good as the year before was like a banner.
Right.
It was substantial. I don't know the exact amount, but everybody got a good chunk.
Okay, because Mike just said that Michael Coates hadn't called him for a ceremony.
No, we didn't. We just gave out the checks this year, but it was $200,000 or $300,000.
That's good.
Yeah.
I mean, expenses of things are so high.
Well, it's not
pull it off.
We didn't sell all the tickets, which was one of the things.
Yeah.
And the other thing was that people, you know, in the economy, they're
Yes.
feeling it. So, you know, the auctions and things were harder.
Dinner was less.
Yeah, we had less people.
Let me present this to you on behalf of Bam Magazine, and I'll make them give me another
Wow,
copy.
look at that.
So, thank you very much. When I brought Kenny Wardell up to the live broadcast we were doing on Lobster Sunday Brunch on the River, and he asked you, you know, they were putting together the live Jive from all the Record Plant and other live broadcasts they did on good old KSAN back in the Jive 95
Wow.
days. And you made it possible for the Doobie Brothers to have Nobody, a very early version on this CD, and it's raising money for the Haight-Ashbury Free Clinic, which is great.
And Bill was really involved in that.
Every year,
Yeah.
And plus they do the Rock Med at all the concerts to this day.
Yeah, this would look quite a lineup.
Yeah, it's a great. The Youngbloods are on there.
Everybody's
Jesse Cohn Young, actually. Santana. A lot of people pitched in, but I think a real
Craig Raleigh
tipping point was when you
Stoneground,
said
Sal
yes.
Valentino, Cold Blood,
Yeah.
Lydia Pence, Dan Hicks. Wow.
So it was funny because we talked about being on the show today and playing that song. So now we'll play the live Jive version of Nobody, and then you said let's play it back to back. So we'll do this. We do 2 for Tuesdays.
Yeah, play it with
now.
the version they just did on their new album, and see what 40 years of musical
chops
have done, and the arrangement and everything.
Right.
How it differed from 19, that was recorded in 71, and now we're in 2013.
Yeah.
So see what the difference, you know,
It's
see
amazing.
what these guys have learned since they started.
So we have 2 for Tuesdays
It's a great
on the
the new
river.
version's really good.
So as a fresh and frozen right now, the fresh one being the new live version that actually goes back to the earliest days, and for the frozen we'll have the new version from World Gone Crazy on 97.7 The River.
That'll be very interesting to hear back to back.